All right. This video is not going to be one of our main videos or anything. This is a little bit of a behind the scenes video. I really wasn't going to make this, but thought that for some of you who want a little extra practice in SPSS or want to see how this is done to make the data set that we're going to be using in the next video, I thought I'd just put this together so you can see what I'm doing. The data that we're going to be using for the next video is going to be using some scale scores to prep us for some analyses that we're going to be doing, t-test regression crap. So for this, what I'm going to do is put some of these variables together. Now, what I'm going to do is make a positive and a negative score. And as you can see in my labels, I've indicated the reverse coded items that are going to be part of the negative score and the regular or positively coded items that are going to be part of the positive score. So I'm just going to make a quick mental note and actually write down on a little piece of paper here question 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, and 6 and 7 are my positive items, and I'm going to double check that that's true. 1, 2, 4, 6, and 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. Okay, perfect. So I'm just jotting this down because what I'm eventually going to do is create a mean score for 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. Now to do this, I'm going to go to compute variable just like we did before. And 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 were my positively coded items. So I'm going to call this pos scale for my positive scale. And actually, now that I think about it, I didn't even need to do that because if I just use variable labels, normally I prefer variable names, but if I just use variable labels here, I can actually see which ones are starred. So I was being kind of silly by writing it down anyway. I thought I was being all cool and stuff, but it was completely unnecessary. So I'm going to use mean, and if you recall, I can use mean dot something. There's going to be 5 items per scale. I'm going to use dot 4 to say I want at least 4 to be valid. I'm not going to use dot 5, and I'm certainly not going to use basic mean. So what basic mean would say is if I was missing data on, say, 4 out of 5, it would still calculate a mean. And I don't want it to do that. If I'm missing data on 4 out of 5 items, that should be declared a missing item. I shouldn't be calculating a mean with that. So what I'm going to do instead is do mean.4. So that lets there be 1 missing item here. I could do mean.3, let there be 2 missing items. But I'm just going to do mean.4, and then I'll copy over my positive items. Here I can double click. So I'll double click, comma. And you see what's going into here is my variable name, not the variable label. So it's not going to take up a ton of room. Oops, and I forgot my comma. 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. This matches my list. And so this is how I'm going to create that mean for this group. And I can see that for this particular participant, I'm missing more than 1 item. So 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. It's missing 1 and 7. It's missing, this participant's missing 2 items. All right, so now I'm going to create my negative scale doing the exact same thing, neg scale, but now I'm going to remove these items, the positively phrased ones, and I'm going to do it with the negatively phrased ones. Note that because I'm just using my previous code, I don't have to rewrite my mean, and it's good because I want to make sure I'm doing the exact same analysis for each of these scales. All right. Oh, what's going on here? Something got messed up. Q8, Q9, and Q10. I think something glitched out on my computer real quick. But here we go, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. I'll make sure, yeah, there's none of these in my original list that I wrote down. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, which is the correct number that there should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items have stars. So I'm going to click OK. I have a different participant who's missing over here because I have a different score or different set of items I'm scoring. This participant, let's see, I had 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. So there's 5's missing and 8's missing. So that's the 2 that are missing for this participant is 5 and 8. Anyway, this isn't a big thing. I'll go on and save this. Maybe I'll save this as instead of RSE data cleaned, I'll call it RSE data calculated, so that I know that I have these calculated variables in there, and that'll be what we post on the learning management system for you to access in the next videos. So again, this is a little behind the scenes video in case you were curious how these things are made. And in case you ever need to make something like this yourself, it doesn't take too much time. Looking at the time on this video, it was 5 minutes. Honestly, it'd probably take me about 2 minutes if I'm just doing this without explaining the steps. So it's pretty quick to make some variables when I know and already have it nicely marked in variable view, which are the ones that go within which particular scale. And I'll be honest, normally if I'm doing this with a scale that I've made, I'll include that in the variable names up here. So I might call it S1Q1 for scale 1 Q1, and then S2 Q1 for scale 2 question 1, etc. If I'm working with like a 50 or 60 item scale where this is just too full to be interpreted. But for here, this works out pretty well. And now we can go on and practice doing some of our analysis stuff in SPSS.